Another glorious day spent at the gym. Spent on our way to the gym here. I yeah, it's uh it's Tuesday, and you know what that means. We are squatting. Squatting. Adjust that a little bit. Sorry, I'm messing with the tripod here. My camera holder. Digging a hole. That doesn't look very fun. Guys on the side of the road digging holes. Not look very fun. Next to, I wonder what they're doing. Who knows? Who the fuck cares? Yeah. So we're going to the gym today. Gonna do some squats. I've not decided yet. Again, we're at a point here at Crossroads where I have not decided what gym I want to go to. Leaning very heavily towards the powerlifting bodybuilding gym, just simply because I like to use the combo racks and the kilo plates and stuff. You know, it's nice to get in there and do that every once in a while. Use some competition equipment, some real, what I would call, like, real equipment, in that it's made by, quality manufacturers, and it's all calibrated competition spec. It's nice to get in there and just use some of that, as opposed to these big box gyms that just sort of seem to buy the cheapest, most mass produced garbage they can find, to cut costs. And I just would rather use the good stuff, frankly. Would rather use the good stuff. So, but also leaning very heavily towards EOS, simply because it's closer. And not that today's actually today's probably the first weekday in several days where I don't feel like rushed at work. Yesterday I was pretty busy again, so much so that I actually made a mistake that probably, cost my company some money, but thankfully I don't think it was that much money. Just was behind from last week, and I fudged up a little bit, and I was honest about it with my boss. I messaged her right away. I was like, "Hey, I fucked up," and she was like, "Yeah, we'll figure it out." So hopefully that really means we'll figure it out, and not secretly like you're fired. But yeah, so just been busy. But today's the first day I feel like I'm not super rushed. Like I don't have anything else going on the rest of the day. Well, I don't have any meetings going on the rest of the day. I do have lots of work still to do and catch up on, but the benefit of not having meetings is that all of my meetings recently, they're on the calendar for like 30 minutes or an hour, and they all seem to stretch like 2 hours plus. So when I'm in those meetings, I'm actively falling behind on work, and not only that, but gaining more work to put me even further behind, because the outcome of those meetings pretty much always falls on me. All right, we have action items from the meeting. Brady, you have your 7 bullet points. Good, go do them. And I just have to stick those at the top of the list and execute on those first because they're priority. And then everything else kind of gets stuffed down into 8th place, 9th place, 10th place, things like that. And they just, the more stuff that gets piled on top, the more I fall behind. But today is one of those days where I get to play some catch up today. I get a little bit of a breather, a reprieve, I think today and probably tomorrow too. I think I still have, don't get me wrong, stuff, plenty to do, but it's not super pressing like it has been. I've been working against really tight deadlines recently, and that's just not going to be the case today and tomorrow. I get a little bit of a break. Most of the time, it's like I get a work assignment at 9 a.m. on Friday, and oh, by the way, I need this done by 3 p.m. today. It's like, great, there goes my entire Friday. And then, sorry, I'm trying to get around this car here. I had to lock in there for a second, really lock in and make sure I got around it. But so yeah, no deadlines today. All that to say, I feel like I've just come on here and complained about work the last few days. I don't mean to do that. I'm just trying to, Just trying to explain the sitch a little bit, give you guys a glimpse into the life of what it means to be I don't know, a dude who's trying to balance work and the gym and his family. It can be done. I'm exhausted, but it can be done. Um, so yeah. Anyways, I'm coming up on EOS right now, so if I'm gonna go to EOS, I gotta decide, man. I gotta decide. Again, just want to go because it's closer, really more than anything. I'm not a huge fan of squatting at their gym on their racks because the bars suck. I'm not a fan of the bars for squat. I'm barely a fan of the bars for bench press. I've had, yeah, just not really great there. I don't know. So, but we're right here, and like I can see the entrance to the gym up there. Do I really want to drive another, I don't know, 10 minutes, 5 minutes to the next gym? Yeah, I mean, maybe. Do I? Maybe, kind of, a little bit. I'm not opposed to the idea. God, decisions. You're getting to witness me make one of these decisions live on camera right now. Yeah, dude, we'll go to the other gym. I'm gonna go to the bodybuilding gym. I'm gonna go there. Just fuck it, why not? So we'll do that. All right, so that means you guys have another like 5 or 10 minutes with me, suckers. Um, I like this gym. It's close. It has nice equipment. Don't get me wrong, but just most gyms, I feel like the bar, like when you the, I feel like, believe it or not, the barbell can be sort of like an advanced piece of gym equipment. In certain ways, I guess. Like, it's not that it's inherently complex or that it's like difficult. It's just, there's a little bit of nuance surrounding different types of barbells. Like, until I really started lifting weights, like, I don't know, probably 3, 4, 5 years ago, somewhere in there, I didn't even really realize there was a difference in barbells. Like, no clue, didn't realize that you could have power bars, Olympic bars, deadlift bars, squat bars, all these, axle bars, all these. I mean, an axle bar is I think probably pretty obvious to most people that it's different. But, if you took an Olympic bar and a power bar and put them next to each other and went up to somebody who either didn't go to the gym or who was very new to the gym and was like, hey, what's the difference between these two bars? Could they tell you? Probably not. Probably not. Same thing, even like maybe a squat bar. Squat bar is kind of easy to identify, ish. They're a little squat bar. For those of you who don't know, squat bars are a little thicker and a little longer. They weigh more than like a standard barbell, like a power bar or an Olympic bar. Most barbells out there that you'll encounter are 45 pounds, 20 kilos. So it's like 40. I don't think it's quite 45 pounds. But a squat bar is 25 kilos, and it's like, 25 kilos. I think it's either 50 or 55 pounds. I think it's 55 pounds. So it's like 25 kilos. So it weighs about 10 pounds more. It's thicker. It's a little longer. And it's like a competition barbell. Like, you wouldn't encounter one unless you were training in a gym like the one I'm about to go to, where they have that kind of stuff, the specialty bars. So, but like, to the point of barbells being a little arcane, a little mysterious. There's differences, and it's nuance, right? And someone like me pays attention to that kind of stuff, whereas your average gym goer probably really doesn't care. I mean, they may be like, man, I don't like this barbell. I wonder what it is about this barbell that I don't like. But they're not going to be able to like really identify why it is, I think, or what it is about the bar specifically they don't like. They may not be able to like articulate it. I don't know. But it's there's a little bit of nuance to it, especially as you get a little bit more advanced. It's just, I don't know, one of those things. So that's why I really don't like their barbells. Their barbells are not great. They have nice equipment, nice machines, nice free weight section, nice cable towers, all that jazz. Like, they have nice stuff, but the barbells, something about their barbells, I'm just not the biggest fan of. So And I guess that goes to, the more advanced you get, the more like little quirks and nuances and dumb shit like that you end up developing. Like, oh no, I can't use this power bar. I have to use this power bar because it's my favorite for whatever fucking reason. I hit a PR with this power bar 2 years ago, and now it's the only one I will ever use again. Maybe that's not normal. Maybe that's just me being fucking autistic, but I feel like there are a lot of people out there that have like those, like quirks more or less. But I mean, especially more advanced guys, right? Like, call it superstition, I guess, if you want to, if that's what you want to label it, superstition. Like, oh, can't use this deadlift platform. I have to use this one because one time 6 months ago, my warm-up weight felt really good on this, and so I just have, got to use this one now. So just stuff like that. Whereas, wow, that guy just like straight up ran through that red light. That was kind of crazy. Like, I don't even think he stopped and looked both ways. But I guess I can pull up now. Dude like blew through a red light. So yeah. Whereas new guys, they probably don't really care that much. They see a barbell and they're like, yep, works for me. Which, there's beauty in that, quite frankly. There's beauty in just like not giving a shit. The more advanced dudes, they like to pretend that, it's like there's some special secret about these bars that only they know because they have this favorite one and it's their favorite because of this reason. But I think, honestly, it's beautiful that, newbies can just walk into a gym and be happy with what they have. That's great. Honestly, really, it's not sarcasm. I think it's, it's fantastic because then you get to a point where you're like me, where I'm just like, I'm complaining about nothing, basically. They have functional equipment in that gym, nice equipment, and, nice barbells by standard. They look nice, there's something about them that I just am not a fan of. But, and so I can't like enjoy it. I'm like, oh, I can't use that barbell. I have to go use this one. Whereas, other people not as autistic as me. So I guess there's that. But anyways, what a fucking rant this has been. What an absolutely unhinged 12 and a half minutes this has been. Good night, man. So anyways, let's try to get back on the subject of lifting and squatting and all that jazz today. So today we're doing 425. Well, I'm going to this gym here, so we're using kilos, so it's going to be 424 for a single, which is cool, which will tie my meet PR from a couple years ago. The last meet that I competed in was May of 2023, and that was my meet PR, was 424. That was my third attempt on squat, and I hit it, and so that's my meet PR. It is not my all-time PR, but it is a meet PR, so that's kind of cool, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna do 424. Got some back downs. I think it's like 345 maybe, or 340 or something like that. On the back downs, 3 sets of 3, and then pause squats. RDL's programmed again. Might do them. All the hip hinging like that is just, it throws me off. I don't really like to do it if I can avoid it. I'm not a fan. A lot of hip hinging. It's really hell on my lower back. And I have to sprint tomorrow. So I try to keep that in mind whenever I'm lifting, to not go balls to the fucking wall the day before I sprint. And then we'll do some accessory work, but we'll get it done. This is almost 15 minutes long, so I'm just going to cut the video here because I'm almost to the gym now. But yeah, I guess we'll see inside in a couple seconds for the glorious 1x1 at 425. So I guess we'll see in a sec. Whew. All right, well, we yeah, we got it. That was, I don't know, something about a good squat day, dude. Just like, it's fucking tough, you know. And I even skipped a set of the pause squats just for time, really more than anything else. I managed to bang out my top set 425 felt okay. Didn't feel great, honestly. Didn't feel bad, I guess. Didn't look bad on the film either. Oh my god, guys, come on. Didn't look bad on film. Didn't feel terrible. Didn't feel great though. It was just sort of it was a set, you know. I think, honestly, God, I don't know if that was a 9 or a 9.5. I really I don't know. I probably could have done one more. I'm not saying it would have been pretty. I'm not saying it would have been easy, but probably could have eked out one more rep of that. And so that's sort of felt infinitely harder than 420 did, you know, whatever it was, 4 weeks ago, when I did my 2 singles. 420 felt fine, and then we had 425 today that felt like just absolute dog shit. And I don't want to say it felt like dog shit, but it didn't feel. When I was thinking back, I was like, okay, 425. I mean, 420 a couple weeks ago felt good. Like, I was able to do 2 sets of 1 relatively easily. You know, I feel like that was an 8.5. You know, 8.5. Like, which it felt good. So I was going into today thinking like, okay, we're going to be roughly the same. You know, like, I'm not gonna what's a 5 more pounds? Hell, what's 4 more pounds? Because this was 424. So yeah, I don't know, man. It felt a lot harder though, and I'm guessing that because, you know, the 420 I did prior to all the heavy deadlifting, and for the last 3 weeks on deadlifts, I've done nothing but, you know, come very, very close to maxing out. You know, 95% for 2 sets of 1. So that's probably got a little to do with it. But, you know, overall, I don't know. It'll be there on meet day, I guess. And other lies I tell myself. But yeah, you know, all things considered, I guess it was all right. And then the back downs, even the back downs today on squats felt like shit. It was 347 for 3 sets of 3. Even those felt like heavy, you know. First set of back downs was like, whoa, dude, this is the back down set. But yeah, it also did not help that my left shoulder is like tweaking bad. Not as bad as my elbows were, but it's tweaking. It's doing something. It's the pain, the injury, the whatever you want to call it, tenderness, irritation, you know, whatever you want to call it, has radiated from my elbow to my shoulder. And so now we're at the point where my left shoulder is just a bit like, I mean, it's feeling it. And I, again, have a feeling it's from, you know, all the stress I've been putting on my shoulder recently, plus the you know, stuff from the bench press, or the elbow stuff that I was doing. Probably didn't help. So it's, you know, it's one of those things that I don't know. I feel like every time there's lots of stuff in hindsight that I could do differently to help avoid these kinds of situations, right? In hindsight, and this is the part of training that, you know, helps make you better over time, right? So the biggest takeaway I think that I've got from this block of training, from this program that I've run so far, we're now 8 weeks in almost. And the biggest takeaway that I found is I need to run this. I need more rest in between lifts. And that means taking days off during the week. And we're going to have a rotating schedule next time I run it. It's going to be, you know, 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off, 1 on, 1 off, something like that, where I'm giving my body plenty of time to rest and recover. so that I don't run into these issues with my elbow again. Um, that's been the biggest setback so far, has been my elbows, and the fact that I don't want to say they've cost me anything, because I've still hit all my comp bench days, like all the heavy singles and heavy doubles that I've had to do. I've still hit those. Those haven't suffered at all. But I think that next time, to help me get more out of the program in general, right? Because yes, it's nice to hit all your workouts, go in, feel good, feel strong and healthy, and hit your workouts. But what the fuck? Sorry. But what's even better is to like recover properly, and so that you don't have to deal with this shit. Because I think part of this is just a product, probably, I'm guessing, of the high intensity training that I'm doing. I'm hitting. We don't hit top sets on this program are all like 85% and above, and so it's hard to let your body really kind of recover. It's intense. It's intense. Even if you're doing 2 reps at 90%, I mean, that's still 90% of your max, right? And so it's still an intense workout. Yeah, you may not be sweating like you just ran a marathon, but it doesn't detract from the difficulty. And so doing that over and over and over again for, 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks, right? Like, it adds up. Puts a lot of fatigue on your body, wear and tear on your joints, your muscles, all that jazz. Buddy, what are you doing? Driving with your blinker on. I bet you're 75 years old, huh? Nope, on your phone though. So that's part of it. Part of it is the lack of recovery in between workouts, where I've run myself 5 days in a row and not given my body much of a chance to recover from any of it, especially when I'm benching every other day. And the bench is it's kind of intense too, right? We go from comp bench on Monday, 2 sets of 5 at, I don't know what it is, 80% or whatever, or even 2 singles at 315, or sorry, a double at 315. Rolling that into, then again on Wednesday, we're doing 8 sets of 2 3-count pause bench at 255. And then on Friday, we're doing Larson press, 3 sets of 6 at 235. That's a lot of benching. That's a lot of benching. And the first time I ran this program, my bench responded really well to that frequency. And I think it still does. Like, I think bench can benefit a lot from frequency training, more so than squat and deadlift. So I think it's not the workout program in and of itself. It's the way I'm choosing to run it that's really costing me. So I need to be smarter about that and not do this again, right? Not make the same mistake where I'm running it 5 days a week consecutively for 6 weeks, benching. Because between that and squats, it puts a lot of wear and tear on my joints, my elbows, my shoulders. So that's just something to consider moving forward. I think that's the biggest takeaway that I've found. Again, another takeaway would be I know my recovery could be a little bit better. I know that I've been going to sleep kind of late. I haven't been sleeping great in general. I don't know what happened, dude. I feel like I used to just sleep like a freaking log, man. Like, my head hit the pillow and within 10 minutes I was asleep, right? And I still am, but I feel like I toss and turn a lot more at night now. Like, I'm restless, and I don't know what that's a product of. I supplement with magnesium right before bed. I take some magnesium. I feel like that's helped a little bit. Part of me also thinks that maybe some of the pain that I've been experiencing are my elbows, my shoulder. Some of that may have something to do with it, where my body is just uncomfortable at night and it wakes me up and I have to readjust myself. So sleep and recovery could definitely be better as well, because I know that that's an area that I'm lacking in. I could go to bed a little earlier. I don't need to go to bed at 11 o'clock and wake up at 6:15, right? That's barely enough sleep that's like the bare minimum amount of sleep that I would want to get as just a normal human being, right? That's like 7 hours roughly. And that's like the bare minimum that I think anyone should probably really be getting. But I'm also training a lot. Like, I'm doing intense workouts, I'm running. And so I think that I probably need a little bit more. And I need to budget that in. I need to go to bed earlier. I need to start going to bed earlier and really make sure that I'm optimizing my recovery in that regard the best I can, because recovery is where the magic happens. that's where your body repairs tissue, you know? And so if I'm getting shit recovery, then my body is probably doing a really shit job of repairing tissue. And anything else that I'm, any other kind of demand I'm putting on it, it's doing a really horrible job of, you know, repairing tissue, storing memories, all that jazz. So I need to be better about that. I need to find a way to be better about getting better sleep and more sleep. So, and then outside of that, honestly, next time, like maybe I need to run, like I need to eat more. I'm already eating quite a bit. I think I'm at like 3,600, 3,700 calories a day. Which is, for me, that's a lot. I know for some people that's not that much, but for me, historically speaking, that's on the upper end. It might be the most I've ever eaten. I've pushed into 3,000 before. I don't know if I've ever broke 3,500. This might be the most I've ever eaten in a day, which is fine. Like, I'm not hungry or anything. I feel fine. I feel fueled. A lot of that is carbs and protein. The most of it is carbs and protein because of all the training I'm doing. I'm trying to help my body the best I can. So like that's like 425 grams of carbs, 250 grams of protein, and the rest left over in fat. I forget, it's like 110 grams maybe. But honestly, moving, like, the next time if I choose to do this program again, or just another peaking program like it, I might increase that just a little bit more. Not that I think that, hell, I might increase it today, honestly. Like, I might bump carbs up a little bit, carbs and fat, just to kind of help my body some. I've never really liked to gain weight historically. Like, whenever I go in a bulk, I never really like gaining weight. The heaviest I've ever been is like 227, and I fucking hated it. I was snoring. I had bad apnea. Like, I was not sleeping well, very, like, not well at all. And I just felt like shit. I felt like a fat piece of shit, dude. And I think that's because the way I did it was kind of quick, fast, and dirty. I wasn't really trying to bulk clean. It was more of, early on in my lifting career where I was just like, yeah, let's fucking eat, dude. Let's do this. I'm just going to eat whatever I see. And I still tracked it, but I didn't really care as much. Whereas now, I'm just kind of trying to eat cleaner foods, put a lot of emphasis on like fruits, carbs, fiber, protein, good protein, so I think that I could stand to increase my calories a little bit as well. Of course, this is coming off of a like bodybuilding style program where I was just do straight hypertrophy, and I was trying to put on muscle and size, and I feel like I did. I put on some body weight, some like lean tissue. I don't know how much. I didn't do a DEXA scan or anything, but I feel like I was at least mildly successful at that. And the hope there was that it would help fuel new 1 rep maxes now. It might be, I don't know. Up until about 2 weeks ago, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I would say that it was like all my lifts felt fine. They felt great. I would say that, yeah, I would say that for sure. Up until about 2 weeks ago, in hindsight, bench was great. 315 for a double. That's the first time I'd ever done that. That was a rep PR on 314. 420 for 2 singles. Not really any kind of PR, I guess, other than just perceived intensity PR. Like, it just didn't feel as hard as when I'd done it in the past. Felt relatively easily. Instead of an RPE 9, it was an RPE 8.5 or an 8 or something. So I guess there was a PR in that regard. And then the deadlift, 490 always feels pretty good. The first week I do it, like, I can hit both those reps, 490 on deadlift. And then the second week, last week, I failed the second one again, which is historically been the way it's gone, right? I hit 490 4 times in this program, and historically I hit the first 3 and missed the 4th, and that's what I did last week too. So nothing really changed there, although deadlifts did feel good. They felt I guess strong, so I don't know, man. Like, we'll see. A lot could change in the next couple of weeks. Big emphasis on bench and squat. Next week we have a big bench day, and squat day is a little bit toned back. I think it's like I'm doing like, I don't know, like 340, I think, or something. for reps next week on squat, and bench next week is a 1x1 at 320. So there's that. And yeah, dude, other than that, like, it just kind of ramps up. And then after that, I think we work kind of back up to squat again, some big number, and then bench just kind of tapers up for the last few weeks of this program. It just kind of progressively gets heavier. I think I have a 1x1 at 300 the following week. And then the week after that, I have a 1x1 at like 330. And then the week after that, I think might be a max attempt. So it just kind of tapers up, and we end up with kind of the same thing for squat. Little, like, kind of a back off week next week, and then I think the following week is at 100%. So at 445, which after today's showing, I am not fucking confident in at all. So we'll have to play that by ear when we get there. That would 440 again would be a PR for me if I did hit that. So I'll need some spotters if that's the case. But we'll see. We'll just, when we get there, we'll cross that bridge. But whatever. This is going to be a very long video, so I'm going to cut this off now because I'm home. I actually do have a meeting now. I got an invite like 30 minutes ago for a meeting in 30 minutes. So I got to get inside and make my lunch. Go figure, of course, today, the one day of the week, I'm like, my free time. It's like a meet and greet meeting too for some new guy here. One of the new, like, de facto CEOs of the company. He's not like a true CEO, but he's like the general manager. It's hard to explain, but so it's like a meet and greet with him. And it's one of those meetings where we all have to sit around and pretend that we give a shit about each other and like, oh, well, tell me a fun fact about you. Let's all pretend we're one big family here. No, let me work. Anyways, so we'll pick it back up again on Thursday. Not tomorrow, but Thursday we'll be picking it back up for bench. Again, I'm going to shut this off now because it's been a long ass video. But so until then, we'll be safe, be good, and go to the gym.